Great, welcome everyone. This is Christy Gammon with doTERRA Essential Oils, Team Share and Shine. And this is our brand new Women's Health Essentials class. I'm so excited to be sharing this information with you tonight. We did a live class at the end of June here in Columbus, Ohio. That was really well received. And the attendees asked, would you please record it and share it live so people from out of town can benefit from the information as well. And so I'm thrilled to be able to do that for you this evening. Happy summer. Grab a cold beverage and grab a notebook and pen and get ready to learn. So I'm just going to pull up a PowerPoint presentation that I created and share my screen so we'll have something of interest to look at while I talk. And we'll just put that into presentation mode for us. Perfect. Here we go. So I want to begin this very special class with scripture. And I'd like to read this to you. Let me see if I can move myself. There we go. Finally, sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Amen. This is Philippians 4:8 in the NIV translation. And so tonight, as we begin our class, I would like to invite you to think about three things. And the first one is, what is your number one health goal for this summer? And just give a moment to think about that. Write it down for yourself. It's going to reinforce the importance of that goal to you if you write it down and help you remember it as we track through the presentation. I'm going to be speaking about a number of different general women's health topics, and that'll help you focus in on the one that's most meaningful to you. And then keeping that health goal in mind, if it's something that you've been addressing for a while, for example, here are a couple of questions, a few questions to hold up to that goal and to maybe what you've been doing to address it so far. First of all, is it true? When I look at something that I'm dealing with in my health, I like to think at this stage in the game, I didn't always used to think about it this way, but something I've learned. Am I getting all the way down to the root of it, the cause of it, or am I just putting Band-Aids on symptoms? There's an important distinction there. So to me, the truth is what's, all the way down in the heart of the matter. So is it just something physical? Is it just something surface? Or might there be emotional aspects to what you're dealing with? Might there be a spiritual component to it? All of those are going to be part of the truth of what you're dealing with. The second question is it pure? And some things to think about with regard to purity is what you're doing wiping out all the good along with the bad? Is what you're doing causing side effects that's thereby weakening your overall immune system or general health and well-being? Do you know what the ingredients are in any substances that you might be using, whether they be natural or pharmaceutical? Do you know where the sourcing originates? All good questions having to do with the purity. And then final question, is it lovely? And this is my favorite question because I think in our culture, our society, we just have this negative association with anything that has to do with medicine. You're already feeling bad and then you're going to take something that's just awful. And, you've got to bring this awful thing in to be able to, kick out the germs or whatever's bringing you down. And so just the connotation of the whole experience ends up being negative. But what if what we use to treat ourselves, to take care of ourselves, could be lovely? And I just have to say that over the past 9 years, as I've explored essential oils and many natural solutions to some of the things that were bringing me down, it's really been a lovely experience. I love the products that I use. I love how they smell. I love how they feel on my skin, and I love how they make me feel. And I've been able to embrace my health and wellness in terms of being proactive and taking care of myself on a regular daily basis versus just being responsive or reactive. And all of that is lovely. And so, which brings us to the third question: are you worthy? And I think this issue of worthiness kind of ties into that loveliness, because if something's really lovely, am I worthy of that? Am I worthy to live a life experience that's that good? And I'm just going to cheat, and I'm going to tell you the answer to that question. The answer to that question is yes, you're worthy. And so stay with me. So this was the big question that my husband asked me. This is now about exactly 9 years ago. It was June, I think, of 2010. And I was just in an absolute pit. I had been making horrible health decisions since I was a young adult. I was that girl who moved out, who was just going to break all the rules. I was drinking Mountain Dew for breakfast. I was eating whatever trashy fast food I could get my hands on all day long. I lived by myself, and there were just no rules. I could go to bed whenever I wanted, stay up late, sleep in late, never exercise. I was just doing terrible things. And those habits, even though I matured, kind of stuck with me. And so I found myself in my late 20s, happily married, raising my stepsons, still making terrible choices, drinking pop all day long, self-medicating with caffeine and sugar, and just giving in to the emotional needs for lots of carbohydrates and non-foods, really. And so I found myself in incredible pain. I had all kinds of mystery symptoms and illnesses that some of them, you know what they are, just extreme versions of things like sinus infections and migraine headaches and really extreme monthly symptoms, on and on and on. And it just became a really sad version of my life. Sometimes I was in so much pain, I couldn't even go down to the basement and do laundry. And so I ended up with mono, I ended up with eczema, and we reached this point in our lives where we had so much to be grateful for, so many things to be living for, and I felt like I was on death's doorstep. And so in a very emotional prayer time, Greg's question to me in this booming Holy Spirit voice was, "Do you want to be well?" And he said it multiple times, and I really took that to heart. I said yes in that moment, and I have never stopped saying yes. I keep saying yes to different levels and layers of health and wellness, making more and more beautiful choices to not only sustain and maintain my health and well-being, but to just really thrive and have a full life. And so that's what I like to share with anyone who comes to my classes, and that's the invitation for you here today as well. So let's begin our class by looking at the top 5 issues affecting women's health today. And a disclaimer that I want to say right off the bat is that we are not going to zero in on these top 5 conditions and try to solve them simply by applying some essential oil. I would never recommend that we do that. I am not off the grid. I work in partnership with medical professionals. I love my general practitioner who is wide open to whether it be my supplements or essential oils that I use, or if we need a prescription, or if we were to need a surgery or something like that. We just take a holistic approach to healthcare, and we do that in partnership. I go to the doctor when I need diagnosis, treatment, etc. And so I don't mean to say that if you have one of these going on, I've got all the answers for you. But I'm going to use them, one, to bring awareness to what they are, and two, in each case, to talk about an essential oil or a product that would help support the body, as well as the emotional, spiritual aspects, and just help you on a proactive scale if you have either average or no major health concerns right now, just to move forward knowing, oh, here's something that I can do to just strengthen and support myself, so hopefully down the road I'm not facing one of these 5 issues. So that's the intention with this. That being said, let's jump into issue number 1. And there's the little red dress for awareness of heart disease. And when I talk about heart disease, this could encapsulate coronary artery disease, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, arrhythmia, and any number of heart issues, all kind of come under that heart disease umbrella. And so any of those can benefit from an absolutely beautiful oil, geranium. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this particular oil. Personally, it's very floral, but among women, it's just an absolute favorite. You could wear this as a perfume, or you could use it. It has amazing properties. I'm just going to read a few of those for you. Anticonvulsant, anti-inflammatory, diuretic, and sedative. And so what this is going to do, in any case, if your heart leans toward, or maybe your DNA leans toward your heart either overproducing or underproducing, it's going to help bring that heart health back to center, back to maximum production. So if you have your geranium with you and you want to pull it out, then you could take just a couple of drops on your finger and maybe apply that over your chest, over your heart. The summer affords us, we can wear clothing that we can easily access our heart. And so this would be a beautiful oil to just apply right over the heart. And I love to mention that this is the oil of love and trust. A couple times a little later in the class, I'm going to read to you from a beautiful book called Essential Oils and Emotions. I'm just going to show that to you. Sorry, I'm just flipping back. Oh, it's Emotions and Essential Oils. So there you have it. And it's just important to always have good reference books on hand. I don't go anywhere without these. I also have my Modern Essentials book handy. That helps me know all the wonderful things that I know about my oils and how to use them. And one little tip that I wanted to share while we're talking about geranium is that it's a wonderful oil to use topically. And so that's one way that you can benefit from your essential oil, like when you apply it over your heart. That speaks very specifically to the heart. So topically, just a couple points that I would want to make is if you're using your oil over a large area, it's not a very difficult thing to put a drop or two over the heart. But say you're having an issue with your back and you wanted to spread that same drop or two of oil over a large area such as your back. You might use doTERRA's plain lotion or our fractionated coconut oil to dilute and spread it over a larger area. Now, with dilution, I always like to point out that we distinguish between weakening something, reducing the strength or efficacy of something. With dilution, in this case, we're just slowing the absorption rate into the body. That way, if it's a warm oil or a cool oil, you may not feel the intensity of that in your skin as it absorbs, and you could also spread it over a larger area. And I think that's all we were going to say about geranium. And so if that's not an oil that you've tried before, I highly recommend it. And for those of you on Facebook who want to share a testimony about your geranium, please feel free to do so. Now let's look at issue number 2, breast cancer. And we want to build awareness here as well. Frankincense is the oil that I want to talk about. Frankincense is the king of oils. When in doubt, get your frankincense out. It has so many amazing properties. I'm just going to read a couple of them for you. Anti-cancer, anti-infectious, anti-inflammatory, anti-tumor, an immune stimulant. And what frankincense does is it actually supports apoptosis, and that's the natural cell death. So in the body, our cells, our bodies are just divinely designed. They know what to do in the best of circumstances. However, you can agree with me, when living in our modern lifestyle, we're exposed to environmental toxins. We are super stressed out. Our body is often in that fight or flight mode, thinking it's just fighting for survival. We're feeding our bodies non-foods, which cause confusion. So all of these different stimuli coming into the body stress the body, overtax the body, give it too much to do. And so, whereas if a cancer, for example, were to develop in a cell, in an ideal state, the body would recognize, oh, this is an unhealthy cell. It needs to die. That natural process for the cell to go through and die is called apoptosis. And so, unfortunately, because our bodies are so stressed and overwhelmed with so many different factors, sometimes they can't keep up. And because cancer cells spread quickly, they can end up multiplying before the body is able to get a jump on it and lead those cells through the natural death process. So what an oil like frankincense can do is come in and really assist the body, support the body in that process of natural cell death when that's what's best for the body. So, and I love, let me get out my frankincense and smell it. Absolutely love. The frankincense is the oil of truth. Beautiful oil. So you can read more about that in your Emotions and essential oils book if you want to learn more about what it means that it's the oil of truth. But I will tell you that it works on all levels in the body: physical, emotional, and spiritual. And our instructions for a way to use frankincense is to ingest 3 to 5 drops 3 to 5 times daily. And you can apply it topically, and you can diffuse it as well. So it's one that I would call a triple threat oil. But the fact that we're talking about ingestion makes me want to talk about using your essential oils internally. Now, you only want to do that with the highest quality essential oils, and that's doTERRA. We will get into a little bit of why doTERRA in a few slides from now. But in the moment, if your doTERRA essential oil has supplement facts on the label, then you know that it is approved to take internally. And so you would be able to do that. Drops under the tongue, drops in a spoonful of honey. You can add your oil to a tea or a coffee, or the way that I love to ingest my oil, especially in the summertime, is in my cold water. And so I've got my water here, and my water has grapefruit in it at the moment, which is one of the oils we'll be talking about in just a little bit. So cheers. And when you're ingesting oils and you're putting them in a container that you're going to drink out of over the course of time, I always recommend either stainless steel, glass, or in the case of your cup of tea or coffee if you want, or hot cocoa in the wintertime, you can use a ceramic mug as well. All of those work. Let's flip to our next issue, which is osteoporosis. And the oil that we are going to talk about is Wintergreen. There is Wintergreen. Now, this is one of the few doTERRA oils that has a safety cap on the top. And so we're just going to talk about another way that we will use our oil, which is safely. I'm just going to smell that. I love the smell of Wintergreen. It actually has a little hint of root beer to me, which I love. You combine wintergreen and wild orange in your diffuser, it smells like an old-fashioned root beer. And so that's just kind of a fun little diffuser blend to pick me up. But wintergreen serves a number of purposes for you. It's analgesic, which means it's amazing for pain, anti-inflammatory, it's a bone stimulant, it's warming, and it's perfect for pain relief, almost cortisone-like action due to its high content of methyl salicylate. Easy for me to say. This is the #1 ingredient in our deep blue oil and rub, and it's the oil of surrender, which I think that's amazing. If you think about osteoporosis and how that's probably going to begin occurring late stage in a woman's body and a woman's health life, I picture the woman kind of turning in on herself, kind of folding in. I think about older relatives who have lamented to me about, going to the high school reunion and having fewer and fewer friends there, and they start to attend more funerals than birthday parties and so forth, and their life just starts to kind of turn in on itself and become more and more sedentary, more and more alone. And I just think about the amazing power of an oil like this to open you back up. When you think of the oil of surrender, when you just turn over your life circumstances and say, this is a lot, this is heavy, but I'm going to give it to you, Lord, and surrender these circumstances and just open myself up to what you might have for me. I still want to live fully, and just invite that opportunity for healing into your body, mind, and spirit. Just a beautiful oil. And so this is one that you can massage into the spine or any affected areas daily for relief. And just another tip regarding safety. This does have the safety cap on it. You would not have to consider it a poison control situation if you would happen to ingest one of doTERRA's safety cap oils. I believe the 3 are wintergreen, deep blue, and birch. But these are oils that just don't process as well through the digestive tract, so you just want to be very careful around them. And if you do ingest them, certainly you could contact your doctor if you were to experience some stomach pain, but probably the only thing that you would need to do is just get a lot more water in your system and help flush it out. And so let's move on to our #4 concern, which is depression. And we definitely want to continue to build awareness and be talking about how common depression is. And the good news is that it's just so, I don't want to use the word easy because then that makes it sound like it's easy to overcome. But the oil that I'm going to talk about is one of the most simple things that you can do to just boost your mood, whether it's depression, anxiety, what have you. The beautiful oil of just in the simplicity of lemon can be really life-changing. Lemon is antidepressant, antiseptic, antifungal, antioxidant, antiviral, tonic, and a powerful cleanser and purifier. Like all citrus oils, it's going to be cleansing to the body as well as the mind and the spirit. It's going to lift your mood and give you a boost of energy. You can also use this as a natural cleaning product in your home. Oh my goodness, and I just took the cap off and it absolutely smells like candy. It's so wonderful. You can't help but smile right after you smell it. And so lemon happens to be the oil of focus, which really helps if you've been, I think about myself and my own personal experience with depression. I would never be in the position to diagnose or, try to tell someone else what to do. But in evaluating my own situation, my own circumstances, when I find myself leaning back toward depression, I know that I've started to believe some lies, some things that aren't true about me. Some of those old negative sayings might be coming back, playing through my mind, like I'm tired all the time or I'm failing at something, negative self-talk, things like that. I could be dealing with distractions. I could be feeling in my body a lack of energy and even physical pain. And so to be able to just smell lemon with all of its clarifying and cleansing properties and its ability to help me refocus, come back to center, come back to the truth, it absolutely has an effect on me to help pull me back toward my myself, my true self, who I'm created and designed to be and who I want to be. And I have several testimonies of folks who have come to me and said, I'm struggling with this. It's not at a clinical level. I have a choice. What do you recommend? And so just even inhaling it from the bottle has helped several people turn themselves around. You know, they just carry it in their pocket or their purse or keep it in their desk drawer, pull it out and just smell it straight from the bottle. And it really makes a big difference. You can apply 2 to 4 drops to the forehead, the temples, or as I've been talking about, just inhale it straight from the bottle. So we'll talk a little bit about aromatic use of our essential oils. You can just inhale directly from the bottle. You can always put a drop in your palm and just rub that together and do our signature move. Take a deep inhale. It smells amazing and just instantly gives you a boost of energy. I'm going to avoid one thing that I will sometimes do with an essential oil after I've just inhaled and, you know, put some all over my hands is rub it on the back of my neck. However, I'm about to have a pool day tomorrow with Kate and some friends, and so I would not want to put lemon or any other photosensitive oil on my skin where it might be exposed to sunshine within 12 hours of application. And so since I'll be at the pool tomorrow, I don't want to take the chance of putting some lemon on my skin and potentially causing a photosensitive reaction, resulting in a sunburn. So I'm going to avoid that. I will post a full and complete list of photosensitive oils for you because that would be helpful to know, especially during the summer season, spring, summer, fall. I mean, depending on where you live, you might always have an issue to know off the top of your head what your photosensitive oils are so that you don't accidentally put it on you. It is in the instructions on the label. It mentions photosensitivity if it's one of those oils. But aromatically is just a really wonderful way to experience any and all of our essential oils. A couple of other ways to enjoy them, of course, is in a diffuser, or if you don't have access to a diffuser, you just don't have one yet, or maybe you work in an environment where you wouldn't be considerate. Maybe you're in an open office environment and there's always that one person who doesn't want you to be diffusing. And so you can put a drop or 2 on a cotton ball, put it in a shot glass and sit that on your desk and just smell that. In your car, you can add a cotton ball to a vent and enjoy diffusing oils in your car. At home, you can put a drop or 2 on a paper towel or an unscented dryer sheet and slip that or attach it to your vent so that when your heating and cooling turns on, that will diffuse through that dryer sheet or towel. And if you want to go big, you can use a few drops of an oil on your furnace filter. And so then when your heating or cooling turns on, it's going to diffuse throughout your entire home. And so that just gives me the excuse to talk for a moment. I won't go into great detail, but I will point you to a number of posts on the page today. Right now, if you're watching this on July 9th, 2019, we have an amazing opportunity to buy turmeric essential oil and get Purify essential oil blend for free. And I bring this up because Purify is an amazing oil to put on your whole house filter and diffuse that. Whether you're just purifying the air, you're dealing with the circumstance. My mom just recently had a kitchen fire and had tons of smoke and a terrible smell in her kitchen and down the hallway and into her dining room. And she used Purify in 3 different ways. She put it in a diffuser in the kitchen. She put it on a paper towel on the vent that came right up into the kitchen, and then she put some on her whole house, the furnace filter. And in less than 24 hours, the smell was absolutely gone, and she was thrilled. So just have to take that little opportunity to plug Purify, as well as turmeric. Lots of good information and education on both of those oils on the Facebook page, doTERRA Essential Oils with Team Share and Shine. So you can look those up there. And then we'll look at our last issue facing women, and this is a pretty big category. The autoimmune diseases are many, and in a lot of cases, it's even hard to diagnose. And so if you are a person who, like myself, is not really being diagnosed with anything, or you're coming up with mystery illnesses, mystery symptoms, this might be a category that you would want to pay attention to. So rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, IBD, think IBS, but just disease instead of syndrome, MS, diabetes, GB, EB, Hashimoto's, and Graves are all diseases that would fall into this category. DDR Prime is the amazing blend that I want to talk about at this moment. It's a really unique blend of essential oils. There's all kinds of different notes that you can pick up when you smell it. From citrus to savory, it's got frankincense, wild orange, litsea, lemongrass, thyme, summer savory, clove, and nioli. So just an absolute powerhouse blend of oils. And it speaks to aging. It's an antioxidant. It speaks to cancer and cellular health, and as well as tumors. And it is the oil of transformation. And I absolutely love that. Let's move on and talk about, we've featured 5 different essential oils now. Why would I use doTERRA instead of maybe picking up something at a local health food store? Or gosh, you can find oils everywhere now. My motto is always, friends don't let friends buy their essential oils at the grocery store, but that even has grown into online from Amazon or any number of local outlets. They're just everywhere at this point, which is nice because in a way, I don't feel like such a crazy person talking about essential oils. At least there's awareness of them now. That's nice, but you just have to be so careful. If you're going to be using these on yourself, for your family, think of your children, your pets, you want to be as absolutely safe as you can be. And so we look to purity and potency. And purity, of course, I mentioned at the top of the class. doTERRA's world-class standard is the CPTG, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. There's no other standard that matches it in the marketplace. And it's held up not only by our rigorous qualifications to meet the standard, but then that third-party testing, which reinforces it. And if you go to our website, sourcetoyou.com, it's spelled out just like you see it on the screen, you'll find 2 sides to that website. And the first side has all the batch reports for any oil that you want to look up. If you pick up any oil and look at the bottom, you'll see that there's a code there. And so you can type in that code and have access to those GCMS and additional reports that you can look at to see exactly what's in that bottle. And it's just a layer of transparency that you don't see anywhere else. And then as well, there's a second side of the site, which goes into our co-impact sourcing and just tells the most beautiful stories about how we go wherever in the world our plants, trees, flowers, etc., grow indigenously. And we not only care about the sourcing from the perspective of the plant in terms of the climate, the soil, the weather, the temperature, all these different factors that are so critical. But we also think about the people. Who are the growers have been harvesting these precious plants, trees, etc. for generations, who know exactly about timing and how much is too much and how to care for them and then harvest. We love partnering with them and empowering them to do what they've always done. And so you can learn a lot about our compact sourcing program and what amazing impact it's having on our world. And so because this is our women's health class, I want to throw in a third point, and that's that doTERRA empowers women, which is such a big deal to me. When you go to the Source to You site, look for the story about Veronica, who's one of our pink pepper harvesters from Nepal. Not Nepal, Kenya. We harvest pink pepper from a couple places. Veronica is from Kenya, and her story is absolutely beautiful. Look for a story about Hele, who is one of our jasmine growers from Egypt, and her story, and how we love partnering with her and bringing this economic development to certainly her part of the world, but boiling it all the way down to her family and her quality of life and what she's able to do. Absolutely love that. Ask Days for Girls, their leadership, or look to the more than 1 million girls all over the world now who have been helped with these monthly hygiene supplies, which literally lifts them out of shame, these places of hiding that they would have to go into, which disqualified them from getting a fair education, from participating in life. And beyond that, look to our wellness advocates and wholesale customers, whether you're an advocate like I am, who's building a business and earning an income and reaching others, educating about health and wellness and choices, or if you're the wholesale customer who's just loving your oils and feeling empowered when your child's not feeling his or her best, and you don't have to make that middle of the night phone call to the doctor for every little thing. You can just walk down the hallway and choose a natural solution that helps bring comfort and relief. There's just huge empowerment in that for all of us. And so just to elaborate a little bit, one of those ways we can feel empowered is in our daily wellness choices. So I love the fact that doTERRA calls us wellness advocates, because they could have called us essential oil advocates. And that would just be telling a fraction of the story. When you look at these building blocks in our wellness pyramid, eating right, exercising, getting rest, managing stress, managing toxic load, and taking self-care seriously. These are the building blocks of our general health and well-being that we can participate in on a daily basis. And no, it's not just about the essential oils in each category, but the essential oils can come alongside our daily health and wellness choices to just further empower and strengthen us. So this is the wellness pyramid, and these particular oils are part of our daily habits kit, which is something you can order as just a monthly wellness kit. It used to be an enrollment kit. It's not at this moment, but I mention it because we just are hopeful that if enough of us want it and ask for it, that doTERRA will bring it back as an enrollment kit. But as it stands, you can build this kit a la carte with your $35 membership, or after you've enrolled, you can choose the daily habits kit like I can. But you've got your oils and products that bolster each rung of the ladder. And so the point that I want to make about these daily health and wellness choices that we all have an invitation to make, the more you engage in healthy habits, the harder it is to argue with the truth. And so if you think back to your goal, your health goal for the summer, I want you to consider a few truths, and we're going to take these one at a time and just feature a few more of my favorite essential oils and products. And we're going to say these truths out loud together as we go. And I want you to think about how true it is when you say it out loud, how true it is for you. And then maybe just jot that down in your notes, and over the course of time, monitor after you start making some changes, taking on some more healthy habits. How true are these statements becoming for you? Is that truth increasing for you? So let's look at the first one together, and that is, I am strong. And I love it if wherever you are right now, you just say out loud with me, I am strong. And then just make a note about how you feel when you say that. And I feel amazing when I say that because it's resonating in me, my body, my mind, and my spirit. I feel strong. I look in the mirror. I think I look strong. I feel better in my 40s than I did in my 30s. And it's incredible to me. And so if you would like to join me in that level of experiencing the truth of this statement, here are a few things that you might try. I'm not going to go into detail on all of these. I'm just showing you some ideas here. If there's anything that sparks your interest that you want to learn more about, I'm always happy to set up a one-on-one appointment with you to talk about your personal wellness plan. But in that first little category here, I'll call it Stay Healthy, we have our On Guard Immune Support Blend and Balance Grounding Blend. So an amazing combination to just maybe rub on the bottoms of your feet or inhale from the bottle, or take the On Guard can be taken internally to kickstart your day. The middle section I'm going to call Recover. So whether you're an athlete or if you're just getting started working out again, and maybe you've got some tension or some soreness in your muscles, or all the way to, you're a marathon runner and you're putting some tax on your body on a regular basis, or you've suffered an injury, any of these choices would be great to help you recover, bring relief, manage pain, etc. And then the final little section there is what I would call Shape Up. And you've got Slim and Sassy and Grapefruit. Slim and Sassy is our metabolic blend. And then you have Grapefruit. And I have Grapefruit essential oil here with me. And that's the one I mentioned earlier that I am drinking in my water today. I absolutely love the smell of grapefruit. This is an antidepressant. It's antiseptic, diuretic, stimulant, and tonic. And like I mentioned before, all citrus oils are going to be cleansing, detoxifying to the body. They're going to give you a boost to your mood and a little boost to your energy as well. Some of the benefits of grapefruit are appetite suppressant. It can speak to addictions of several different kinds, from drugs and alcohol and cigarettes to sugar, which is what I needed it for and what I continue to use it for. I love the taste. I feel like it helps me curb my cravings, especially those mid-afternoon desires. I don't really feel those as much anymore. And then finally, it can help you if you're experiencing withdrawal symptoms. This is effective for anorexia or bulimia, obesity, overeating, stress, and PMS. And grapefruit is known as the oil of honoring the body. And so this is one of my favorites to read out of the Emotions and Essential Oils book. I'm just going to grab a quick drink before I read a couple paragraphs. And then you'll get what I'm talking about with this book. Grapefruit teaches true respect and appreciation for one's physical body. It supports individuals who struggle to honor their body and are caught in patterns of mistreatment. These forms of abuse may include severe dieting, judging one's body weight or type, and abusing the body through negligent behavior or violence. These acts are often motivated by hate and disgust buried within the psyche, which gets directed toward the physical body. Though individuals may obsess over how they look, deep down they never feel they look good enough. There is a dissatisfaction that persists. Grapefruit oil is often misused in overly strict dietary and weight loss programs. The reason this oil helps curb emotional eating is because it encourages a positive relationship with one's body based on love, tolerance, and acceptance. Grapefruit encourages integrity by respecting one's physical needs. This oil assists individuals in listening to their true physical needs and impulses. It also assists them in taking responsibility for what they feel. Grapefruit teaches that no amount of food can fill a hole in the heart. Only love can do that. As individuals take ownership of their feelings and get the help they need in addressing them, they no longer have a need to hide their feelings behind food, body abuse, strict regimens, eating issues, or other forms of obsession. Wow, if that reading speaks to any of you the way that it does to me, you just reach out and let me know, and I will help you get I will help you get your hands on some grapefruit. It is just absolutely one of my favorite oils for many of the reasons that were just highlighted in that reading. I can't speak highly enough about grapefruit and the impact that it's had on me. And it's just such a simple oil. It's so accessible and easy to build into your daily routine. So let me know if that speaks to you. And then we'll move on to our second truth, second out of 3, and that is I am beautiful. And so just as we did with I am strong, I invite you to say with me out loud, wherever you are, I am beautiful. And just try saying that in the mirror sometime too. Might make you cry, but it's totally worth it. And over time, it just becomes more and more true. You are created in the image of your Heavenly Father. You are absolutely beautiful. And He wants you to be walking in that truth. And so something that helps me feel more beautiful is just the knowledge of what I'm putting into my skin physically, my hair, my face, my mouth. These are some areas where, as women, we are absolutely bombarded with toxins, with harmful chemicals, things that do the opposite of what we want them to be doing. And so I just wanted to highlight, and again, I'm not going to go into extreme detail of these products, but these are some of the cleanest, most beautiful smelling products that you could be putting into your hair, your skin, and your mouth. So our hairline, and I'll just give a little bit of how I use it. The shampoo and conditioner, I will wash my hair 2 to 3 times a week, depending on what I have going on. And on those days, then I might use the styling products as well. The root to tip serum is just to promote healthy hair. And you can see, I mean, my hair is very thick. It grows quickly. I have to go see Shay to get a cut and a style. I mean, I could probably go every 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, just to keep it as short. But I try not to go more than 6 because then it completely loses my style. And so that just speaks to how healthy my hair is by using these products. And then the glaze is something that I use for styling in replace of hairspray. And then the skincare line, I use the facial cleanser and the hydrating cream every day. And then 2 times a week, usually midweek and on a Sunday, I'll do what I call my spa day. And then I will swap out the hydrating cream. I will start with the facial cleanser and the invigorating scrub. And then I will do the brightening gel and anti-aging eye cream. Then the pore reducing toner, the tightening serum, and then the anti-aging moisturizer all over. Then probably about once a month I use our reveal system, but that's probably something that I'm going to talk about more in our 3rd class. This is a series, so if you're watching this Women's Health Essentials class for the first time, it's the first in a 3-part series. And so our 2nd class is going to be healthy hormones, and the 3rd one is going to be all about self-care. So I'll come back around and talk a little bit more about skin in that self-care class. And then finally, the mouthwash and the toothpaste are both fueled by On Guard. They're absolutely incredible. What you're doing for your overall health when you take care of your teeth and your gums and your mouth in general is so important. So I want to give you a gift here and just go over some of the ingredients that you need to be looking for in maybe some products in your bathroom right now that you would want to swap out. And so if you're looking at hair care and you're finding any of these ingredients in the products that you're using now, I would recommend that you make a switch, because this is just more that your body is going to have to try to overcome over the course of the day. And depending on how often you use them over time, it just builds and builds and builds, and then that just leads to our overall dis-ease. And then this is the skincare slide. If you're seeing any of these 7 ingredients, and the fragrance one is a catch-all. That's something that companies are getting away with putting in their ingredient list now. It's very generic, obviously, and so it kind of encapsulates any number of chemicals that they could be adding in there that would be a detriment to you. And then the final one, if you're seeing any of these ingredients in your oral care products, that would be cause to swap them out. Okay, and so that brings us to our final truth, and that is I am enough. And so just like we've done with the other 2, I invite you wherever you are to say out loud with me, I am enough. And then just make a note in your notes about how true that felt for you. As those words resonate inside you and come out your mouth, how true does that feel for you? And this was a really big one for me in the past, and I've loved growing into the truth of this statement, because as God's daughter, I have everything I need. I walk in abundance. He is such a good father. He gives me everything I need. And so I don't walk around in lack. I don't walk around in scarcity. I know that in this moment, I have everything I need and I am enough. That is true. And I want that to be true for you too. And some ways that I'm reminded that I am enough, or when in those moments when I need just a little bit of support to be able to remember well that I am enough, these are some of my go-tos. And the first category I would just call breathe. And you see there are beautiful oils, Breathe Respiratory Blend, as well as eucalyptus. And this is the one that I have with me for this category. I'm going to come back to eucalyptus. But oh my gosh, I could go on for another 30 minutes about the importance of breath. I will not do that in this class. I typically talk about breath a lot in the self-care class, so maybe that will be part of class number 3. But let me just underscore the importance of deep breathing. And so if you're going to take, let's just grab our eucalyptus real quick and take a deep cleansing breath together. And you're going to go 3 seconds on the inhale, 3 seconds while you hold it, and then 3 seconds while you exhale. And if you have a favorite essential oil or your eucalyptus handy, then you can inhale with this oil. Beautiful. Thank you. And then something you can do as you work up, try to go all the way to 6 seconds on your inhale, 6 seconds while you hold, and 6 seconds while you exhale. And I promise you, the physical, emotional, and spiritual benefits to your body are almost overwhelming. It's amazing what a gift you give yourself to just take a moment and breathe deeply. I highly recommend it at a minimum at the beginning and end of your day, but any moment during the day where you just feel that stress and overwhelm come in, take a few moments to breathe. You're going to be giving yourself such a gift. It'll be well worth the investment of time. The second little grouping of oils here, we're going to call focus. So when you need to just set or review your goals and stay on track in your day. I get to that 2 or 3 o'clock window most days and I think, who am I? What am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? And either of these oils In tune, I usually put high up on the back of my neck, kind of on my brainstem, and then motivate I would use as a perfume and just put it on my wrists or pop it in the diffuser, and it just brings me back to myself, helps me focus, help me get motivated to tackle those tasks that are on my plate. And those are the tasks that I've outlined for myself because they help me reach my goals. And so just a wonderful way to keep me focused and moving forward in the ways that I want to be moving. So just tremendous support there. And then the final category I will call go. You can do this. And a favorite blend is just real simple, peppermint and wild orange. Your peppermint is just going to open you up, revitalize your mind and your brain, help you be alert. And then the wild orange is the oil of abundance. It's going to remind you what you're walking in and how capable you are in your I am enoughness. So as promised, I just want to finish with eucalyptus. This is analgesic, antibacterial, anticatarrhal, anti-infectious, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, insecticidal, and expectorant. It supports your respiratory system, your skin. It speaks to muscles and pain, and it also relieves inflammation. And so you will not be surprised to learn that my friend here, eucalyptus, is the oil of wellness. And so if you were only going to choose one oil, this is an amazing one to end on. And once again, I'm just going to read you a little bit from the Emotions and Essential Oils book about eucalyptus. The strong medicinal aroma of eucalyptus demonstrates its powerful effect on the physical and emotional bodies. Eucalyptus oil supports the soul who is constantly facing illness. They may get well for times and seasons, only to return to a common cold, allergies, or congestion in the sinuses and respiratory system. Eucalyptus addresses a deep emotional or spiritual issue of the need to be sick. It reveals patterns of thinking that continually create poor health. These beliefs may include thoughts such as, I don't deserve to be well. I am the sort of person that is always getting sick. Or the only way I can get a break is to get sick. I used to say personally over and over, I'm always tired. Things like I can never get enough sleep. Eucalyptus gives individuals courage to face these issues and beliefs. It encourages them to let go of their attachments to illness. Eucalyptus encourages individuals to take full responsibility for their own health. It bestows trust that one's needs and desires can be met, even if they allow themselves to be well. Eucalyptus teaches how to claim wholeness and heal. And I hope that each one of you will begin to do that. And if eucalyptus could be of support to you, then you let me know. And so as we opened our class, I want to close the class with this beautiful scripture from Philippians 4:8. Finally, sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. As your wellness advocate, I just want you to know that I'm always thinking about you. I'm always thinking about your health and wellness, how you are, how you're doing. If you're doing what you want to reach your goals, and if there's a way that I can support you. I hope I've given you some things to think about this evening. And if there's something that you want to learn more about or discuss more in depth, reach out and let me know so that we can develop a personalized wellness program to benefit you. I thank you so much for attending. There's a number of ways that we can connect, whether it be on Facebook. You can go to our doTERRA Essential Oils with Team Share and Shine page. That's spelled out on your screen for you. And that is the heading, that's the cover photo on that page so that you'll recognize it. The little picture of Kate and me is our profile picture, and the flowers are our cover photo so that you'll recognize that when you see it. My website is christygammon.com, and I'm always available if you want to text or call or come by the house or attend a local class. We're going to be doing parts 2 and 3 in this series locally here in Columbus, and then online and available by recording as well. They're going to be part 2 is healthy hormones and part 3 is self-care. Would absolutely love to see you for both of those classes as well. Thanks for joining us, and be well.